Emisiune realizată cu sprijinul Camerei de Comerț și Industrie a României.
Bună seara la o ediție nouă a Ambasador România, o ediție în care avem o nouă țară, prezentăm o nouă țară, avem un dialog cu Insarcinatul cu afaceri al acesteia, o țară mare, importantă, nu foarte aproape de noi, dar în aceste momente nu mai există nimic departe sau aproape. În această perioadă a globalizării, într-o perioadă în care economiile se mișcă într-o parte într-alta, este foarte important să știm și despre acele țări care sunt mai departe geografic de România, cât mai multe. Mai ales că despre Europa aflăm în fiecare zi extrem de multe lucruri direct de la media românească. Pentru astăzi am rezervat spațiul unei țări exotice, unei țări frumoase, cu tradiții extraordinare și pe care vă spun sincer că mi-aș dori foarte mult să o vizitez. Este vorba despre Argentina, o țară mare din America de Sud, o țară cu o geografie extraordinară, diversă, cu o ieșire foarte mare la Oceanul Atlantic, cu vecini interesanți, cu Chile, cu Bolivia, Brazilia și o țară care a dus la un moment dat un război, o să discutăm cu Insarcinatul cu afaceri al acestei țări la București, care a dus un război cu Marea Britanie pentru insulele Falkland, va fi și acesta un subiect. Dar o țară cu 44 de milioane de locuitori, adică dublul României, cu o suprafață extrem de mare, și care în acest moment se află într-o creștere economică, ca de altfel și Brazilia, într-o creștere economică și într-o stabilizare economică, ceea ce face din America de Sud, în ansamblul ei, un jucător extrem de important, ignorat, din păcate, de Europa pe termen mediu și lung. Un actor important pentru care resurse, pentru că aceste țări se dezvoltă. Nu uitați, l-am avut pe Insarcinatul cu afaceri al statului Chile, unde venitul pe cap de locuitor era unul foarte mare. Vorbim așadar de un continent în dezvoltare, un continent care va juca un rol important. Acestea fiind zise, dați-mi voie să mă întorc la invitatul meu, Insarcinatul cu afaceri al Argentinei la București, și să schimb în limba engleză pentru a avea un dialog cu domnia sa. First of all, Mr. Chargé d'Affaires, thank you for accepting our invitation to Ambasador Romania. It is a pleasure and an honor, and I will make a very short summary, just for, I'm sure you understood mainly most of the things I've already told to our viewers, but I mentioned that your country, it's a very beautiful country, even though I haven't visited, but if you are interested to know the world, you discover the culture, you discover the beauty, you discover, and your country, Argentina, has everything. Has a beautiful landscape, but you will tell us more. Has such a big open to the Atlantic Ocean, has interesting neighbors, interesting history. You have these Latin roots which are making your blood, like ours, to run faster and make you alive, you know. And that's why I like Argentina, not because of the football, but also because of what it represents. And besides thanking you for accepting the invitation, my first question is normal, and I will ask you, how would you describe your country from the perspective of a person which doesn't know much about it, but it knows it's an exotic place? If I would like to come and visit your place, visit Argentina, and I wouldn't know much, how would you convince me?
First of all, thank you, Alexandru, for this invitation. I feel very pleased to be here. And answering your question, well, it's difficult to talk about your own country. It's not easy.
Yes.
You have to try to be objective. I come from Buenos Aires, and I have been, I think, because of my profession, everywhere, all over the world. And I can define first Buenos Aires like a very sophisticated, very special city.
And that's a very big city.
It's a very large city. I mean, if you, I like to walk more than to know cities, you know, driving. But if you walk, it will never end. It's an extremely large city with many inhabitants. If you count, for example, people who live in the center of the city plus the surroundings, you reach to almost 14, 15 million people. This shows the extension of it. But apart from that, it's a very Western city. I mean, you will find all sorts of restaurants, all sorts of theaters, cinemas, opera house. Nightlife, it's, for those ones who like it, it's a must. It's comparable to Ibiza, Barcelona, or still better. No, it's really, it's not New York, but it's really...
It's alive.
It's alive. It's a city that never sleeps. It's always alive. But this is Buenos Aires, you know. This is sophistication, movement. Then you have the rest of Argentina, which not necessarily is the same. Argentina is a country with more than 3,700,000 square kilometers.
Yes.
So it's quite
very
large.
Yes.
But anywhere in the direction you take, north, south, east, west, as you mentioned before, you will find amazing landscapes, all of them completely different. And this makes a difference to other Latin American countries, because we have different sort of weather conditions, you know, or climate conditions, from subtropical till places like Tierra del Fuego, or you go to the west, then you will find the Cordillera de los Andes, with one of the mountains which is one of the 3 highest in the world, almost 7,000 meters high. Then you go to the northeast, you can find the Iguazu Falls, which I have to be a little bit funny as well.
Well,
sometimes
of course, we have from the same family.
No, I mentioned sometimes I see posters with the Iguazu waterfalls and says Brazil, which we own the 3/4 of them. You know. They do have the deepest cascade, and we have our side has 275 of them, and more than that, the side of the Iguazu Falls, which is one of the 7 natural wonders of the world.
Yes.
On our side, you can live it because you can walk on the falls. It's something very impressive, risky, but really beautiful. You are at a very small distance of the water, and sometimes you can cross it as well. It makes it something very special. You can go to other part of the northwest, and you will find colonial cities, more related to Peruvian, Bolivian traditions. Then you can go to the center of the country, and you will find La Pampa and the Gauchos, you know, this sort of, or the province of Buenos Aires. You go south, you find the province of Tierra del Fuego, which has the most southerly city in the world, Ushuaia. And if you, when you were a younger child, you read Julius Verne.
Of course I did, of course. Who didn't read Jules Verne?
There was one of his books called The Lighthouse at the End of the World.
Yes, yes, I did. I've read it.
Well, this lighthouse definitely exists, because I was able to visit in the middle of the ocean close to Ushuaia, which is something really, it makes it very special. More things about our country. Well, we're not going to talk about sports, but we can talk about...
Well, we can, of course. Why not?
Well,
you are...
something important, really nice from Argentina is that we practice all sorts of sports, and we're more or less good in most of them, like tennis, rugby, football, polo, obviously, fishing, if you take it as a sport, basketball, I mean, volleyball. I mean, we're really good at that, and that's something...
Even though lately with the football
we are trying to come up again. You know? In fact, you beat it us once in one of the world champions, and you had an amazing football team once.
Yes, but not last time.
Yeah, this goes ups and downs. It's normal.
Yeah,
it's a sport. And you know, we are very famous about our meat, our wines.
Yes, of course.
Our so-called asados, which are not exactly a barbecue. You know, it's a ritual of preparing it, of cooking it, that takes hours. Anyway, we are meat lovers, no doubt, but
Yes.
which is good for Romanians. They would feel
Yes,
comfortable
yes,
there.
Yes, yes.
But we have all sort of food because we come from a different origin with our ancestors. So we have Mediterranean food, Asian food, sophisticated food, seafood, whatever you want to find there. Another thing that I think you could be related to Argentina is our character. I mean, our identity. Because we come from many different origins, especially Europeans, but also Asians. Anyway, we are, in the end, we have our own character. You know, what we would call in Spanish, Argentinidad. Basically, I would say that...
What does it mean?
Well, it's characterized by, I would say, three special things. Pride, defiance, passion. Sometimes we, in a funny way, we compete with our neighbors, with Brazil, because they're a big country, large country,
Yes.
and they always say, their phrase is "o mais grande do mundo." Whatever they have is the biggest of the world.
Yes, I understood.
So to compete, we always say, "God is Argentine," and it's a common phrase, but that's not true. But we have the Pope.
Yes, yes, you have the Pope now.
And we have Maradona, we have Messi, unbeatable polo teams, 5 Nobel Prizes, and we definitely hope it's going to happen this year. We expect to have our Minister of Foreign Affairs, Susana Malcorra, as the first female UN Secretary General.
Ah, yes.
This is what we hope, at least, and she's doing well.
Well, from what I understood from the diplomatic community, has some chances.
Yes, she has.
She has.
Definitely.
And it would be a step forward also for the world, because UN didn't really... it's nice to look to the UN as a global organization from 1945. But at the same time, we don't see so much openness towards promoting women in positions like that.
You're right. But it's a difficult and long process. So there's still some time to come.
Yes.
And just let me finish this description about Argentina.
Please.
But you know, something that defines well Argentina is that it's considered the most American of the European countries and the most European of the American countries.
Well, your history with the Spanish and so on, and also with the Hebrew community.
Yeah.
And so I actually noticed something, before going to another question, which is interesting. I noticed something in your CV which it came into my attention, and I liked it because I also think it's a fantastic place. It's a fantastic organization because it does great things around the world, including in Romania. That you also received a prize, and you work close to the Ronald S. Lauder Foundation.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
And you know that also in Bucharest they have the school, a great school. Yes. And also you had an interest, and you have education even within Hebrew University.
Absolutely.
And my question now to you, which is out of the blue, of course, but I think it is interesting, is that I studied that within your ethnic composition, you have lots of of course, Latin and so on roots, but you also have a Hebrew community.
Absolutely.
Which is, okay, not very big, but it's big enough, and it counts. My question to you, Carlos, as we decided together at the beginning of our talk show to call on the first name, I would like to ask you, how do all these ethnic groups live together in harmony? Because Argentina is not known for ethnic conflicts. Maybe we can talk about the wrong things as well, but not for ethnic conflicts between Hebrew and Spanish, or between other, Peruvian and... How do you manage this?
I don't know, it's our nature, because we, as I mentioned once, we are a melting pot of cultures, races, religions. It's a natural feeling. We all feel Argentines. At home, it's our choice. We keep the tradition of our ancestors or not. But you wouldn't see, not even what you see today in Western Europe, not even the way people dress according to religions. I mean, we're all Argentines. It's not to talk about groups or communities. No, it's respecting your freedom to be as you are. There have never been ethnic problems.
No, of course, I've studied that, and I could see that.
And I have to say, you know, as a diplomat, you spend many years abroad.
Yes.
And sometimes when you go back to your country and you see this, you can understand, because I have not seen this integration anywhere in any other country.
Let me ask you one last question before the first commercial break. One of the most glamorous parts of your culture, because I consider it a form of art, not just a dance, is the tango.
Yeah.
It's a very sensual, very wonderful form of art, and we have more and more adept in Romania as well. We have schools for tango and so on. It is, if you ask me, I believe that is more. It's a Latin. I mean, you can put an. I don't want to offend anyone, but you can put a person from Norway to dance it. But I think it's something about the Latin blood. And I want to ask you, not the history of it, but I mean, how do the Argentinians look at it? Because for us it's exotic, it's interesting, and even though I cannot say I'm a big dancer of tango, but I like it very much to watch. It's a very, very sensual and very interesting form of art.
Well, Alexandru, we are too. I mean, I also like it to watch. I love tango. I cannot dance it.
You cannot?
Not every Argentine dance tango.
But you're Argentinian. How can you?
No, but this is a wrong perception. That we love tango, definitely. But in our country, there are many. Tango comes from Buenos Aires. That's the origin. It represents Buenos Aires, not the whole country. We have other folk music. I mean, recently, for example, in America's Got Talent, there was a group called Malevo from Argentina, which danced malambo, which is a different folk of music, and they were repeatedly ovationated. But going back to your question, I mean, tango is becoming popular now again in the new generations, but mixed up with rock music, with other sort of music.
Yes, it's a different form.
In Romania, I'm surprised. You have 16 active schools of tango.
Exactly, yes.
Your ambassador to Argentina, she loves tango and she dances tango, but not now. She was doing it here in Bucharest. She was going to milongas, and she was in that community. So it's something that represents Argentina, no doubt, all over the world. Everyone wants to play tango or dance tango. And now what I'm very glad to know, for example, some years ago, a musician from Argentina, his name is Mariano Castro, he used to play in Argentina, he was famous. For some reason, he fell in love with a Romanian woman.
Well, for many are for no reason falling in love. And we are jealous because you're, anyway, yes. We will go and go in Argentina and do the same. And you'll feel what we feel.
No, but I was mentioning the good thing of Mariano is that, and his wife Simona, that they recently conformed a group called Argentango, which is composed by 3 Argentines and 2 very good musicians from Romania. They're already very well known here, but this means that tango also helps to integration of nationalities, cultures. You know, it's something quite special.
Well, I liked your explanation. I was surprised that you are not dancing it, so I'm not feeling the only fool in the room. Not fool in the sense of not dancing it, but I do like to watch it. I think it's the South American music and South American dancing dances. I find them the most sensual and interesting forms of dance. I'm sorry for other countries, but this is my opinion.
Thank you, Alexandru.
It was an honest opinion, my friend. We will take a short commercial break and we will be back with the chargé d'affaires of Argentina. Publicitate.